Yo, what is good, Knicks Nation? Welcome back to Knicks Media. This is Richie, and in this video, I want to break down the Knicks' full offseason recap, go over what they did in free agency, in the draft, and what the entire roster is going to be looking like heading into training camp, which begins pretty soon, guys. Basketball season and Knicks season is right around the corner, and I'm so excited to start giving you guys consistent Knicks content. My apologies for not posting in a couple weeks. I've been really focused on my other channel about the New York Jets, because as you guys know, football begins literally this Sunday, so I've been really focusing on that. But don't you guys worry, Knicks Media is going to have consistent content all the way leading up until the season, going over, player profile series. I have so much content lined up here on Knicks Media, so make sure you guys stay tuned, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'm really excited to break down this offseason recap. Before we hop into today's video, I just want to mention, guys, I am now a proud partner with BetQL, and this is my first sponsorship here on Knicks Media, and I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much, because without all of you guys subscribing and watching all my videos, liking and commenting, this would not be possible. This is a huge step on me for YouTube. I have the same partnership with Jets Media, so shout out to BetQL. I'm going to be showing you guys a little ad about them right here, so I'll catch you guys at the end of the ad. Want to take an advantage over your sportsbook? You need to download BetQL, the only app you'll need to make smart bets. Their bets computer model scans over 350,000 unique bets per year to give you a best bet recommendation for every game across all major sports and gives you the reasoning behind why you should place the bet. Their model covers everything from spreads, over-unders, and player prop bets. Don't want to use the model and prefer to do the research yourself? BetQL has all the necessary tools for your betting research needs. Everything from sharp data, line movement, team summaries, lineup and injury breaking news, and even leaderboards to track your success. Head to the App Store or Google Play Store now to download BetQL. You can also head to try.betql.com/KnicksMedia to get started now. Enter the discount code KnicksMedia at payment checkout for 25% off any of their subscription offerings. You could find all this information in the description of this video. Make sure to check out their BetMGM offer in the description in order to receive a free year of BetQL. Also, make sure you check out the Sportsbook offers page if you live in one of the eligible states to claim free offers upon signing up at one of the many sportsbooks listed. Don't miss out on your chance to beat the sportsbook this football season. So yeah, guys, make sure you guys check out BetQL, and shout out to them for sponsoring this video. Now let's get right into the Knicks full offseason recap. So we're going to go over the roster, then we're going to go over the free agency and the draft. So first off, let's go over who is indeed on this roster for the New York Knicks heading into the season. So this is not in any particular order. I'm not going to say this is starting because we don't know who's going to start. We don't know who's going to come off the bench. We don't know anything really right now. So starting off with the guards, we have Kimball Walker, Derrick Rose, Immanuel Quickley, and Deuce Mcbride. So this is a really good combination of two veterans and two young players. As we know, Immanuel Quickley entering year number 2, Deuce Mcbride entering year number 1 with the New York Knicks, and we have Kimball Walker and Derrick Rose, who are both guys, around the same age, and we know how good Kemba and Derrick Rose were in their prime, but that's not to say they're not as good just now. We know what Derrick Rose brought to the table last year with the New York Knicks. He was one of the best guards on the entire team, carrying us into the playoffs. He was, the best player in the playoffs, and I'm so happy we re-signed Derrick Rose, and then we go out there in free agency and we signed Kimball Walker to a very reasonable contract for the Knicks, and I'm really excited to see what he can do with us. And I just love this awesome job from the Knicks front office of combining the rookies, the year 2 players, and the veterans, and I really feel like this is going to be a fun season for the Knicks. And I'm not going to mention other guys that could be a guard. We have a lot of guys on this roster that's versatile, like RJ Barrett and Burks and Grimes and Fournier. They can play the guard as well, but I just have them labeled as a wing in this video just for the grand scheme of things. So let's get into the wings. RJ Barrett, Alec Burks, Quentin Grimes, Evan Fournier, Dwayne Bacon, and Kevin Knox. So these are the wings I have, and again, RJ can play the 2, Burks can line up as a shooting guard, Grimes can, Fournier can. I just, matched up as big wings right now just so I can organize the roster in my head, honestly. And then the forwards, we have Julius Randle and Obi Toppin, and the center position, Mitchell Robinson, Nerlens Noel, and Taj Gibson. And then also I have to mention the two-way players. I think it's going to be Jericho Sims, and I forgot to mention as well Luka Vildoza. So we don't know if he's going to make the roster or not, but I definitely have to mention that he is going to be with the Knicks going into training camp. I want to break down the wings real quick. So RJ Barrett, he's entering year number 3, and we have a lot of expectations for RJ. We saw him training over the offseason, and he looks like a very more improved shooter. Here's a footage of him at the gym, putting up some crazy shots. His form looks different. He has more smoothness to his jump shot, mid-range pull-ups. And if he can really take that next step in year 3 like we're expecting, RJ Barrett is going to be a very fun player to watch in year number 3. And then Alec Burks, he is coming back. I'm expecting him to come off the bench. We know that Alec Burks is a very versatile piece that Tom Thibodeau loves to maneuver on this New York Knicks team, whether it's running the point at times, the 2, the 3. He can do everything. He can defend. He can facilitate. He can shoot. He can create his own shot. He can drive to the rim. He can do a lot. So Alec Burks is a very underrated piece to this Knicks team, and I'm happy that we re-signed him. And then Quentin Grimes, the rookie. I'm not really expecting a lot from Grimes in terms of minutes right out of the gate. I think he's going to have to work his way up the rotation and in order to really get some time. I feel like injuries is going to play a big role if Quentin Grimes does get minutes. But I am expecting to see him play a lot this season as well, because I feel like we need a guy that's going to step up and replace Reggie Bullock, and I feel like Quentin Grimes is a perfect replacement. Plays hard-nosed defense and can shoot the ball from 3. And then Evan Fournier, our big free agent signing, he is definitely going to be the starting lineup, obviously, and I'm expecting a lot from Evan Fournier. I feel like he's another playmaker, adding to the roster. He's going to be replacing Reggie Bullock in the starting lineup, and he brings so much more than Reggie ever did. Reggie was more of a spot-up shooter, catch and shoot 3, play defense. Evan Fournier, he can do everything on offense. He can put the ball on the floor, he can create his own jump shot, he can facilitate to others. He doesn't rely on somebody else to set him up. I feel like Reggie Bullock, he was one of those guys offensively, as you guys know. He would camp in the corner, camp at the wing, waiting for the ball, catch and shoot opportunities. When the ball's in Evan Fournier's hands, he's not limited. He can take it to the rim. He can size somebody up. He can create his own jump shot. So that's going to bring a different element to the offense with Evan Fournier. And then Dwayne Bacon, he's somebody that we'll see if he makes the roster. He's going to go into training camp. I'm expecting him to, but we will find out. He's an athletic guy that's been in the league for quite some time, but he still has a lot of juice left in the tank. I think he's around 25, 26 years old. And then Kevin Knox. We'll see what Kevin Knox brings to the table. He's going to be more of a situational role on this team. If there's any injuries, he's probably going to, be called up. He's probably going to be that 10 to 15 range on the bench, because as you know, Thibodeau likes to do 10-man rotation, starters and the bench, and then that, 10 to 15 range is really for anybody that gets hurt. Now, breaking down the forwards, we got Julius Randle and Obi Toppin. I love this dynamic of the, veteran. We signed him to an extension, and then Obi Toppin entering year number 2. I'm expecting Obi Toppin to have a really good season in year number 2. And you know what that will do? That will help out Julius Randle, because Randle led the NBA minutes last year, as you guys know. And if Obi Toppin can really show up and be a guy where it's hard to take him off the floor, that's only going to help out Julius, because we don't need Julius to lead the league in minutes anymore. We do not want that. Obviously, we want Randle on the court as much as possible, but we know Thibodeau, how he works with his minutes, and I'd rather save Julius Randle. I'd rather him not play the ridiculous minutes, and that means Obi Toppin steps up. At the same time, I'm expecting Julius Randle to have a very good season. If you saw this workout video where Chris Brickley, he looks like in crazy shape. Chris Brickley had a lot of positive things to say about Julius Randle, that his mind is different. This is one of the most impressive workouts that he had in the offseason, and he's coming off most improved player. He's coming off taking the league by storm last year, and he's a lot to prove, and now he is with the Knicks long term. I'm expecting Julius Randle to have the best season of his life. Obviously, he has a big thing to back up. Last year, he shot 41% from 3 after shooting 27% from 3. Even if he shoots 38% from 3 this year, I'm not complaining, because you can't expect him to shoot 40+% from 3 every single year. I'm expecting him to take a lot more shots, off the dribble, creating his own jump shot, chucking them up at a high level. But Julius Randle, man, I'm expecting high things from him. As Knicks fans should. He should still be the best player on this team, and he should carry us to a bunch of dubs. Hopefully his playmaking takes another step as well. That his first year with the Knicks, the turnovers were an issue, but year number 2, he was facilitating, getting everybody involved, but he still had a knack of turning the ball over. So hopefully he can clean that up. And then getting into the center position, Mitchell Robinson, Nerlens Noel, Taj Gibson, and then, you got to mention Jericho Sims as well. Mitchell Robinson, I'm expecting big things from, man. I think the only thing that held him back last year was his injury concerns. He cannot stay on the floor, and that's not his fault. I feel like it was 2 fluke injuries. We know that Mitchell Robinson got, bulked up. He's a bigger guy right now. Looks absolutely massive. I feel like he's going to be a unit down low. We know what he's like protecting the rim. We know what he's like, catching those alley-oops. The big question is, can he take that next step in terms of rebounding? Because I feel like this Knicks team lacked that next level rebounder, especially in the playoffs. we missed Mitchell Robinson. Clint Capella was absolutely dominating the paint in terms of crashing those boards. So we need Mitch to, get those second chance opportunities that we know he can, and especially crash those defensive rebounds. Nerlens Noel, he's probably going to be our backup center. I love this re-signing. He's a defensive guy that really held his ground in the playoffs. I know he was, on one foot really. He had a sprained ankle, but he was playing through it. But Nerlens was really good for this Knicks team all throughout the season, filling in for Mitchell Robinson. I would like to see him take a step offensively. We know that he has some butter hands. He doesn't really handle the ball a lot, but he's not really out there offensively. He's more to, shut down the paint on the defensive side of the ball, because this system that Thibodeau runs all starts on the defensive side of the ball. And then Taj Gibson, he's definitely going to be playing this year if there's any injuries to Mitch and Nerlens. So expect Taj to come in. He's going to have that wise mentor leadership, of course, on and off the court. He's a branch of Tom Thibodeau. And then Jericho Sims, the rookie, we'll see if he gets any playing time barring any injuries. Now let's get into free agency and all the contracts that the Knicks handed out. So we're going to start off with the people that we indeed did re-sign. So Derrick Rose, we gave him a 3-year, $43 million deal with a team option, after year number 2. So essentially, it's more of a 2-year deal. If the Knicks want to get out of it after 2 years, they have the flexibility to do so. This is a great signing for the New York Knicks. This was the number one guy I wanted to re-sign out of all of our pending free agents, and I'm happy Derrick Rose is back because he has so much left in the tank. We saw what he did. He has the quickness, the explosiveness, the shooting, the playmaking, the mentorship. He has everything you want in a veteran point guard, and I'm happy that we retained him. Alec Burks, we signed him to a 3-year deal, $30 million, another team option after year number 2. So this is another guy. I feel like every single contract we handed out has a team option. So even though it does say 3 years, it's technically 2 years for both Derrick Rose and Burks and Nerlens Noel, who we signed to a 3-year deal, $32 million contract. So the similarities with the Rose, Burks, and Noel contracts is it seems like they're 3 years, but they're really not. So if the Knicks want to get out of him after 2 years, they have the flexibility to do so. And then they signed Taj Gibson to a 2-year, $10 million contract. And like I said, guys, Taj Gibson was a must-sign. We needed him off the bench. He's one of the oldest players in the NBA, and this is that guy you want in the locker room. Now let's get into the guys that we signed in free agency that were not re-signed, like Evan Fournier, 4-year deal, $78 million, team option after year number 3. So essentially, this is not a full 4-year deal. It's a 3-year deal if the Knicks want to make it that. So this is a guy that we got under $20 million annually per year. You got to do that. You have to do that. This is bringing in a new player, a guy that can do everything on the floor, comparing him to Reggie Bullock. You need to give him this contract. And if you compare this contract to other guys like DeMar DeRozan, Alonzo Ball, and around the league, we kind of get Evan Fournier for, I don't want to say cheap, because this is not a cheap contract by any means, but a guy his caliber to average around 17, 18, 19 points per game, to be able to be a playmaker, shoot the ball well from downtown. This is a very good signing for the Knicks. And then Kimball Walker, which is the craziest contract of them all, a 2-year deal, $16 million, 8 years annual, $8 million annually. Wow, what a great job from the Knicks front office to bring in Kimball Walker. We know what he's going to bring, the cardiac Kemba mentality, the home, he's from Bronx. We know the whole story. He's going to have a different feel at the Garden. It's his home court. So I'm expecting big things from Kemba Walker. And then Dwayne Bacon, we signed to only a 1-year, $1.7 million contract. So we'll see what type of role he has on this team going into the training camp. Now let's get into the draft recap and what this Knicks did. We traded a lot and we drafted a lot of players. So first, the 4 guys that we did indeed draft, first round, 25th overall pick, Quentin Grimes. We know what to expect from him after seeing what he can do in Summer League. He started off a little rough first 2 games. Everyone's like, yo, why is our first round pick not looking too good? But he has the ability to shoot the ball crazily from downtown, create his own jump shot, have very high intense defense. I'm expecting Grimes to have a very solid rookie campaign. And then round number 2, Rokas Jokubaitis. He's going to be kind of that draft and stash type of player. He's going to be playing overseas for a couple seasons. He's more of that long-term thing where hopefully he can develop and then we can see him down the line. So expect that. And then round number 2, we got Miles Deuce McBride, the 36th overall selection. This is a kid that I'm super excited about. I know Knicks fans are as well. He looks like the steal of the draft in terms of the Summer League. His defense, everything about his mentality and his offensive repertoire is way better than I ever expected. Shooting the ball downtown, pulling up from mid-range, attacking the basket, athletically in terms of dunking the ball. So Deuce looks like a very good player, and I feel like he fits the Tom Thibodeau mold perfectly. And then our last pick was Jericho Sims, who looks like the next Mitchell Robinson in the second round. We know that we drafted Mitch in the second round a couple seasons ago. Jericho looks like that same type of, raw athlete that can go up there, dunk the ball, block shots, and he's going to be a developmental piece over time. And let's get into the 3 trades that Leon Rose pulled off in this draft because they're very interesting. We traded traded the 19th overall pick for Charlotte 2022 first round pick that is indeed protected. So the Knicks, instead of drafting someone at 19, they said, okay, let's retain a pick for the future in case we want to trade it or we want more picks in terms of the future, because they really want to compile their draft picks, and they had a lot of confidence in the guys later on in the draft, obviously. And then we traded the 21st overall pick, Los Angeles Clippers 2023 second, while moving down to 25. So essentially we moved back 4 picks from 21 to 25. We drafted Grimes and we acquired a 2023 second round pick. So again, Leon Rose is looking for the future. They want to compile as many picks as possible just in case any star or anybody becomes available via trade that they can go out there and snag. And then we traded a 32nd overall pick to OKC for the 34th and 36th overall pick. So they made a lot of trades, they made a lot of moves, and I'm really excited to see what this Knicks team can do for the future, guys. So that's really it for my thoughts of the Knicks full off-season recap. They did so much in free agency and the draft. I broke down their roster. Let me know what you guys have to say down below in the comment section. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say, because you guys know just as much about the Knicks as I do. So like the video if you guys enjoyed. Comment down below a Statue of Liberty emoji if you guys enjoyed. And again, shout out to the sponsor BetQL for sponsoring this video. If you guys want to check them out, your one-stop shop for sports betting and more. So again, guys, check out the description for the BetQL code. I would appreciate that. And that is it for this video. I'll catch you guys in my next one. Peace.